Hi everybody, it's Susan Lynn, Psychic Medium. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be part 2 of the series where you asked me to ask my spirit guides political questions and I got answers for you. So the original video that I did for this was way too long. It was an hour and a half long. So I've made it into 2 parts. And this is the second part. There's some pretty interesting things in it, so I hope you take a chance and watch it and let me know what you think in the comments. Also, I will say that I also asked for spiritual questions, non-personal spiritual questions, and that will be in a separate video. So look for that separately as well. And without further ado, you can see the rest of this video that I made regarding your questions to the spirit guides. Okay, thank you for your question. Michael Smith says, will Governor Abbott lose given that he caused a big supply crisis recently? And Governor Abbott is that hurts me so much to say, my governor because I live in Texas. God bless me. Yeah, you're right, Michael Smith. So Beto O'Rourke is running against Governor Abbott. When Beto started running, Beto's been running for a long time. He was a representative and then he ran for Senate and he lost against Cruz because it was rigged. And now he's running, and then he ran for president and now he's running for governor of Texas. When I used to read Beto, I got that he wasn't going to win. I mean, it crushed my soul, to be honest with you. But things are changing. Because Governor Abbott has really managed to upset a lot of people who are not brainwashed Trumpers. They're just regular old Republicans, oil and gas Republicans, fiscal Republicans. And I think the energy has changed dramatically. Overnight, just like that, Abbott makes a stupid decision to keep trucks carrying produce and food and anything else from coming into Texas from Mexico and Central America because he wants to, because he's just stupid for one. It's just stupid. So what he did was he made all those trucks have an extra security scan. And when that happened, everything got delayed all the way back through Mexico. And vegetables rotted, food rotted, and stores didn't have supplies. And what supplies they had went up even more. So that backfired on him. And he made a big mistake. Yes, that's going to change everything. And I think Beto now has a chance to win governor of Texas. I really think so. This is what I'm talking about, right? So in the next 3 or 4 months, I guess it is 3 or 4 months, these changes, these Republicans are like jumping the shark, to use a really old term. They're their own worst enemies right now. They're their own worst enemies. Forget the indictments. They're doing themselves in, which I really do think is spirit. Again, I said we're supposed to be kind of always kind of trying to balance. But we're so out of balance that when it happens that we're so out of balance, spirit tends to kind of put their foot on the scale, so to speak, and sort of help us get a little closer. They're not gonna help any one side all the way, but their goal is to help us get a little closer, because when our Earth and the inhabitants on Earth are so out of balance, out of whack, bad things happen to the Earth. And when bad things happen to the Earth, that emanates bad energy to the rest of the solar system and indeed other planes of existence. And that is no. That is not allowed. Okay, so that is why spirit, I think, is sort of helping the Republicans shoot themselves in the foot. So yes, I think that's going to happen. That's also happening with DeSantis in Florida as well. So imagine Texas getting a Democratic governor. Imagine us getting 2 seats in the Senate and 2 seats in the House. I mean, we're talking about a complete sea change in our political and in our lives here. So that's all good. I do see it good. I see some squabbling and fighting and all that too that comes with it. Remember when Obama got in office? Okay, so similar things. Thank you for your question. Nancy Faye, what do your guides say about Malcolm Nance's safety? Malcolm Nance, if you guys don't know, you check him out. He was in the Navy, and he's an intel guy. He does a lot of intelligence work, and now he's routinely interviewed by all kinds of news outlets. And I do believe he has a book out, or one or two books out that are very good about the intelligence and America. So he recently said, I'm done talking, I'm going. And he went to Ukraine. This is not a young man. I don't know how old he is, but I'm going to say he's over 50. And he geared up, and he's in Ukraine with a gun. Wow, right? Hats off to that man walking his talk. So she wants to know, is he going to be okay? Yeah, he's going to be okay. They're reminding me that he said that he has friends there. I don't know what he meant by that. I don't know, but he felt like he had friends there that were his age that had to take up arms. And I'm talking to them right now. He's not on the front lines. Where's Kherson? Kherson? Kagherson. Kherson? Is that really a place? I know there's Kharkiv. Anyway, I don't think he's on the front lines. I think he wants to be on the front lines. I think he's pissed off. And I think he wants to be on the front lines. But he's valuable. He's a very valuable asset for Ukraine to have, because there are hundreds and hundreds, perhaps maybe even 1,000 POWs, Russian soldiers. He is a valuable asset to them from an intelligence, analysis, analytics. He's invaluable. He will be kept as safe as possible. I mean, it's a war, but he will be kept as safe as possible. That's a hero. That I don't know. I don't know what to even say about that, because I just don't know. Okay, Anik, and thank you for your question. Anikala World says that's the same question about Putin being removed from the presidency. I think I answered it. The pressure is immense on him. It's as if, imagine a tidal wave coming at you, and he's standing and refuses to back down from the tidal wave. The pressure is immense. He's going to be going. I just can't tell you if he's going to go. Oh, yeah. He might go this December. Anytime they get a chance, guys, there's people lined up. There's multiple people from multiple groups lined up to remove him. Okay? Whenever they get a chance, he's going. And he can't be this careful forever. But his, I did this video with Adam Free about astrology a couple of days ago, and we talked about Putin's astrology, and doggone it, his astrology is really good. In the sense, it's good and bad, in the sense that he's feeling very powerful, and he is very powerful. But the flip side is that he's going to be overconfident in his power, which we already know he is anyway. He was overconfident in his army, which was it was a ragtag army. He was overconfident in his generals. 8 of them are dead. He has a habit of being overconfident anyway. But this partial lunar eclipse, look at me quoting astrology. What? This partial lunar eclipse coming up on the 30th is that energy around the 30th is where he could be even more overconfident. So there could be something happening around that time to him. All he has to do is make one mistake and he's out. Okay. I just got I just got poisoning. I got poisoning from one of his, one of his, it's not a taster. I know he has tasters that taste his food. He has a taster that tastes his food, but then he has one of his inner circle taste the food again. I don't know what they're talking about, y'all. There's some kind of thing where where the taster tastes the food, but the taster took charcoal or something that would ameliorate the poison. I mean, it would not make them sick immediately. Like maybe, who knows, maybe they do die, but they don't die right there. So Putin seems to be caught on to that. And then he makes one of his inner circle. It's almost like Russian roulette. You're the one today. You go taste the food. And I see that guy grab his stomach, and he's literally immediately, within minutes, slumped over. And I'm starting to feel it in my body. And he's vomiting this black substance. Maybe even blood. I don't know what kind of poison can do that to you. But whatever it is, I'm sure Putin knows about it. So, again, I'm going to let that energy go because that was like, right in my stomach. Okay, so that was a little extra about Putin. Okay, thank you for your question, dear. Kathy asked this question that I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything. She says that she's always wondered who the Foo Fighters of WWII are, and if they've been around for subsequent wars. I don't know anything about the Foo Fighters other than I think that's a band. But I'll ask. Okay, so if the Foo Fighters are, what I'm seeing are men and women, and they're transparent to me. So they're, sometimes when you see someone who's crossed over, when they've crossed over recently within the last 5 years, they're like real life to me. Like they look like I can't see through them, in other words. But if I go to that same person and they've been crossed over for 20 years, their energy is so much lighter that sometimes they're even floating. They're not standing in front of me, and they're more transparent. So in my opinion, as a medium, people, the longer you've been over there, the more transparent you are. For whatever reason, we don't want to go there, but they're transparent to me. I see they look like, these people look like, I mean, I'm hearing the word warriors, but I want to say soldiers, right? They're saying warriors. I'm going to say soldiers because they're wearing uniforms, and the women there are also wearing a uniform, but I do believe that they're nurses or, I'm not sure. Now I'm seeing, for real, warriors from other eras, and also even women warriors. I'm seeing all kinds of stuff now. And I did not spike my coffee this morning, so this is trippy. I'm seeing Native Americans. I mean, I'm seeing everybody. I'm seeing every potential culture that you could imagine that had warriors, from China to Mongolia to the United States to South America, every continent, okay? Whew. But it started out as, to me, it looked like World War II or I veterans. They're wearing khaki pants and a khaki uniform. That's who I started out seeing. So I'm going to say to you that these Foo Fighters are ghost. They're not ghost. I take that back. Ghost are earthbound energies. These are not, they have crossed over. It's going to get real complicated up in here, you guys. They got to stop telling me all this. I mean, okay, so these stay on topic, Spirit. These Foo Fighters have crossed over. They come down and they help in wars. Okay, they help in wars. They come down and they give a soldier a nudge, duck. They give them a nudge, go down to that, go over to that trench. I bet there's books on this that where soldiers have written where they don't know why they did it, but they did it. I don't know why I'm alive. I just knew that I needed to get out of the Jeep, and I did, or whatever. This is also your own spirit guides sometimes helping you, but this is the Foo Fighters helping you. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, you guys. We all got to Google Foo Fighters and figure out what this is, but that's what they told me it is. I'm going to take a break here and tell you that maybe this is what I was seeing. The Angels of Mons is one of several stories of the reputed appearance of a variety of supernatural entities which protected the British Army from defeat by the invading forces of the German Empire at the beginning of World War I during the Battle of Mons in Belgium in the 23rd of August 1914. Perhaps this is the kind of energy that I was seeing. Obviously, the Foo Fighters are more aerial and more of a UFO type nature. So I just wanted to interject this so it would make more sense. Okay, thank you for your question. Eric says, thank you for your question, Eric. Since Biden was elected, I have the feeling he will get 3 vacancies to fill in the Supreme Court. 1 down, 2 more to go. My God, what did I just say when they were going on a diatribe about something else earlier and they went off on the Supreme Court? 3 vacancies. That's exactly what they said. Thomas, Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett. Absolutely. Yes, you're right. No, actually, Eric, there could be 3 more vacancies. 1 down. He says 1 down and 2 more to go. I think 3 more to go. I can't tell you when because Thomas is also very stubborn. I just feel like all HE double toothpick is going to break out in the fall. Like chaos, like with these indictments. And this is what Biden and Garland are trying to keep from happening. They're trying to do it in a controlled release. Because if all this happens at once, you know, if Kavanaugh gets run out of the town and Amy Coney Barrett steps down and Thomas retires and then we convict Trump and then we convict all these other people. I mean, these Trumpers are going to lose their minds. They're going to lose their minds. And it's not good for America. It's not good for America. We don't want these people who are heavily armed to go out and make a bunch of craziness, right? So you understand why Garland is being so careful, why Garland is not letting one leak out, and why Biden is picking his battles very carefully. It's like a loaded, boom, boom. We have to be careful how we detonate that. Okay. Woo. Okay, thank you for your question. Puka Rabbit says, will the U.S. regret removing the mask requirements at this time on airplanes and other public transportation? Right. Also, they're talking about the Coachella concert and White House Correspondents' Dinner, which the president traditionally attends, will be on April 30th. Wow, have you guys not seen already? Because I thought this was very interesting. Nancy Pelosi got it not too long ago. Didn't the VP or her husband get it? Yeah. People close to Biden have gotten it in the past month. 6 weeks, which I thought was very odd. What I see as far as the White House Correspondents' Dinner, I don't know he'll go. I'm not sure Biden is going to go. It's not 100%. It's about a 50-50. And it could be because of Omicron, or it could be because of something else. But it's 50-50 he goes to that. But if he goes to that, all those people are going to be tested. He may require them all to wear masks. I mean, that's an event that he could control, right? So, and that would be the kind of message that he would send, right? Y'all are going to wear masks, right? You're all going to have tests. I mean, that would be a good message for him to send anyway. I already talked about this in a previous question about how I think it's all going to happen, so I'm just going to let that stand. But the thing that stood out to me was the White House Correspondents' Dinner, because it had energy around it, which means there's something going on there. And I talked about that. But thank you for your question. Okay, I'm going to gather all my strength to say this name, because I've said it before. It's not an easy name to say. Lashara-Hazadeh. Did I do it? Lashara-Hazadeh. Did I do it? Let me know. Okay, thank you for your question. She wants to know what's going on with Shanghai. She's got a bad vibe about it. I have a bad vibe too. Now that you mention it, it's like I caught your bad vibe. Can you please ask your spirit guides about it? Yeah. I caught your bad vibe, girlfriend. Well, what's going on? I don't like it. I don't like that vibe. Ooh, I don't like that vibe. It's under the surface though, okay? China is doing things under the radar. They're hoping to keep it under the radar. There are what do you call that? They're purging people that would be against the government, purging businesses, arresting people, intimidating people. They're setting the stage for something. They think nobody's going to notice what's going on in Ukraine. Or if we notice, we're tired. The international community is tired. We're exhausted. Meaning the leaders of the international community are exhausted. They've got too much on their plate. They're not going to take on somebody else. They're really not. They don't have the energy. They're all trying to deal with their people, and their people are freaking out and putting pressure on them about Ukraine. Yeah, this is a good time to do something. Turns out. Keep your eyes peeled on Shanghai. There's not anything we can do about it. I'm just going to tell you, there's nothing. I do know that Biden is capable of multitasking, and I do know that he is not, like, I see, maybe Europe is like this because Europe is so close physically to Ukraine, but I see Europe having blinders on, just looking at Ukraine and Russia and their own. Well, they're also going through some elections right now, but I see Biden being very open to everything. He's not letting anything escape him. He is seeing everything. He's seeing what's going on in Shanghai. He's seeing what's going on in South America. He's seeing what's going on in Europe. He is getting briefings that are hours long, which is fantastic compared to our last president who got a child's coloring book. So anyway, I don't know what else to tell you other than there's nothing we can do about it. You know what I can tell you? Send love and light. Send light to Shanghai along with Ukraine and, frankly, just the whole world. Thank you for your question. And Joyce Gibson has a question. Her question is, will the Senate get the 2/3 majority needed to allow Sweden and Finland into NATO? In the preliminary vote, the Republicans said no. You just want to bang your head against a rock. Okay. I'm not getting a good fuzzy feeling. I'm not getting a good warm and fuzzy feeling about this. Ah, right. the Republicans, you know that word is going to be used as a cuss word pretty soon. They, God, Republican it. Okay, never mind. They're using their votes to negotiate some things. So they voted no to show the Democrats that they had a cohesive voting bloc to vote no, and therefore now they've got leverage to negotiate. So they're going to use some of those votes to negotiate things that they want. I'm hearing something about the filibuster potentially, like negotiating no vote on the filibuster. I'm feeling a lot of pressure in my chest right now, and I don't know if that's me having a heart attack or if that's the pressure that's being exerted on the Democrats. Okay, so the question I'm going to ask now is, will they eventually vote? I'm getting no. I'm getting no. I'm going to tell you guys that this is me being dejected, but I'm also going to tell you that Spirit has told me, it's just like when they said that Putin being in office, being in charge of Russia for more time helps us learn our lesson. It keeps us in the lesson so that we can pick a different lesson. Okay? So this is the thing going on here. If 2/3 of Republicans vote against allowing Sweden and Finland into NATO, they're not voting for their constituents. They're going to pay for those votes. So if they vote no, that is a travesty. But they will also pay the price for that. And we will reap the rewards of that, at least. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. There is a silver lining there, is what I would say. But it is very upsetting. Because remember, I guess they're telling me now that one of 45's desired outcomes was that the United States would get out of NATO. So of course these people are not fans of NATO anyway. And these people not being fans of NATO and Ukraine needing to be in NATO to get protection and NATO wanting to grow and the whole country, the whole world coming together in support of NATO and NATO becoming more powerful will not bode well for these Republicans. They're again on the wrong side of the right side. Okay? I hope that makes sense. I can't guarantee you that enough won't come forward to make it happen. But if we do vote to allow Sweden and Finland to come into NATO, it will be by the skin of our teeth. But those people will pay. Okay? It's not all bad. It's bad, but it's not all bad. Okay, Debbie. Plus, they're saying that there's going to be an opportunity to vote again, right? When we get this, when we get control of the House and the Senate again, and a higher, better margin, there's going to be more votes in the future. That we can get them in. So they are going to go in eventually, I guess is what they want to say, because they saw how dejected. I was so dejected by that. We are going to get in. There are going to be at least 3 countries that go into NATO, and Ukraine is going to go into NATO. NATO is going to grow. It's all going to be okay. This is an opportunity for Republicans to look like idiots, the same way they look like idiots when they ban math books in Florida. Okay? Again, they're just shooting themselves in the foot, toe by toe. Debbie McCarthy, thank you for your question, says, can the spirits tell us if any of the Republican higher-ups will lose their seats in November? Specifically, McConnell, Graham, Johnson, Cruz. Cruz isn't up for election, I don't think, because he beat Beto. So I sadly think that Texas has 2 more years of Cruz. Just, more dejection. Wait, so let me just ask, I'm just staring at their names so that I can tune into their energy. One of them is out. Graham, McConnell, Johnson. I don't think, is Graham up? I mean, are these people all up for election? Because I don't think they are. I don't think McConnell's up. I don't think these people are up for election. Johnson, but I will say that they could be out for some other reason, right? I mean, they could step down for health reasons, quote unquote. Graham is not good. Graham's energy does not look good to me. I mean, in a health way, if I was Graham, I would be going to my doctor. I don't normally tap into these people's energies because it's like swimming in a sewer. I don't like that. I wouldn't. I mean, I have compassion for people, even though he's Lindsey Graham. I have compassion for him as a human being, and I would literally tell him to go. If you're watching this, Lindsey, go to the doctor. Something bad is going on in there. And it's sudden. It feels sudden, like a heart thing. And maybe that's why my chest was heavy. I don't know. Okay, so yes, some of the higher ups are going to go. It might not be through voting. It might be through some other way. Again, there's a lot of upheaval in this year. Before the election and after the election. Something must also be happening in December. That's twice that I've gotten December in regards to a shakeup, a funeral. Between November and December. Between Thanksgiving and December, like Christmas or Hanukkah or something, some holiday. Okay, sorry. Thank you for that question. MS Pioneer Girl, it's great to see you. Says, China says it will keep boosting strategic ties with Russia. What do your guys see for the China-Russia relations and for each country separately? Thank you for your question. I did talk about this last time. Biden, I did a video a long time ago called Biden's New World Order. It was right after Biden got in as president. And people were freaking out because it sounded like, Hitler or something, right? But this is what's happening. This is Biden's New World Order. Biden is going to go to Australia, to Britain, to Europe, to Canada, to South America, Central America, and anybody that's a democratic country, and especially those in NATO, we're going to have trade pacts with. And the goal is to limit trade with any country that's not a democracy. That is the goal. He is going to make this happen, mark my words. Now, of course, we're not going to be able to cut China out completely, but we are going to cut them out as much as we can. I'm telling you, as much as maybe 20 to 30% of what we currently get from China will be replaced by other allies, NATO allies. Imagine Australia, imagine Canada or some other country getting that much more orders for durable goods. That's a boon to your country. And imagine the United States doing the same thing, right? So I feel that we are going to isolate China. We're going to really put up some boundaries with China. Frosty, they're saying the relations between the United States and China and the United States and Russia are going to be frosty, very cold. Also, Saudi Arabia just popped in. Saudi Arabia is the same thing. Look, China is a lot like India. You know, if you got some money, we got your product. We don't care who you are. We don't care what kind of country you are or what kind of despot you are. We'll do business with you. Money talks. So, China needs to learn a lesson, is what I just heard. And the rest of the world is pulling together. This is really big. This is part of our ascension. This is part of our ascension. All these countries are going to come together. We're going to support each other, and we're going to push away and freeze out countries that don't have good human rights, that aren't democratic. And what they just said was Russia doesn't have any money. China is, again, China's betting on the wrong horse here. The energy across the board is these people making stupid decisions. Republicans making dumb decisions. China making dumb decisions, wanting to do business with a country that has no money, that's a pariah. I mean, you gotta see how these dots all connect, because they really do. And I really feel like it's spirit. I don't think anybody asked this question, but I'll ask it. DeSantis is going up against Disney. DeSantis, the governor of Florida, is going up against Disney because Disney came out and said, we don't like that. We don't like that you're against gays and trans and math in schools. And so DeSantis is trying to take away Disney, the corporation in Florida, their special status that they have, tax status. And if they take that away, Florida homeowners are going to be paying a huge tax to make up for all that money that Disney pays for. Disney pays for a lot of the streets and infrastructure around their amusement park. And without that money, somebody else has got to pay the bill. So that's just plain stupidity. I mean, it's just like, it's like, have they all been lobotomized when we weren't looking? You know? So again, it's this energy of people making decisions that hurt themselves. Like the guide said earlier, shooting themselves in the foot one toe at a time. It's unbelievable to me. Look at the news yourself. Look at how all these things connect together. How all these people are making decisions that totally do not help them, that do not support their goals. Hopefully that made sense. I don't think, and in this stuff with China and Shanghai, again, none of this is going to help them. They're going to be in big trouble. China's going to be in big economic trouble. I see a big animal, and I don't know what it is, stumbling like a rhinoceros. You wouldn't imagine a rhinoceros being able to stumble. Their legs are like tree trunks. Plodding, right? Big, plodding. And I see it tripping and stumbling. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. A.W. Peterson, thank you for your question, says, does Ukraine have a sovereign democratic state in the future? I'm glad you asked that question. Yes, they do. Ukraine will rise like a phoenix out of the ashes. The guides have said this from the very beginning, literally from the very first video. They will be sovereign. They will be democratic. And you want to know what else? They're going to be, I just hear the words world leader. I'm not kidding. I've heard this for months. But even before this attack, they were talking about Ukraine being some sort of world leader. I'm like, I can't even find Ukraine on a map. So now when they're getting attacked, you want to say, well, what in the heck are you guys talking about? What are y'all smoking over there? Today is 420. Hello. But no, Ukraine, I don't know how. All I know is that Ukraine is going to be a world leader. And I want to say it's going to be a financial world leader. Like, they're telling me different names that I don't understand because they're not English. What's that place in Switzerland that's the financial Starts with a D, right? Or maybe it's in Sweden. There's a financial center. Anyway, it's going to be a financial center. It's going to be renowned for arts. It's going to be a modern country because unfortunately, everything is gone. A lot of those cities are literally razed. But this is what I've seen and I've talked about in other videos. We're going to have world-renowned architects are going to go there and donate their services. We're going to see beautiful, new, modern architecture being built in those cities. It's going to look so modern, glass buildings. A phoenix out of the ashes is all I can tell you. Of course, my heart aches for those old buildings and the history and the people that have gone. And I know this doesn't replace any of those things, but it is a rebuilding. It is the phoenix rising out of the ashes. Okay? They will rise. They are divinely guided. Absolutely. Ukraine is divinely guided, and so is Zelensky. Angie Podgurney says her question is regarding the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Will he be held accountable for his various scandals he has been involved in? I don't follow Canadian news, sadly, but I'll just ask the guides for you. I see that he has some scandals. I feel like he has egg on his face. You know what that expression means? When you say held accountable, see this is too broad. I mean, held accountable could mean bad boy, don't do that anymore. And that's kind of what I see happening. I don't see him stepping down. I don't see him being jailed for anything. I just see a slap on the wrist for whatever it is he's doing or have done. And that's what I see for your question. Thank you for your question. Johnny. How, I'm going to ask the guys, how did Johnny. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't say your name. But thank you for your question. Dahani? I think it's Dahani. I think the guides are saying it's Dahani. Let me know. And if it's not right, 1-800-COMPLAINT. 1-800 Spirit Guides complaint line. Okay. Can my guides have a look at the Australian election? Is there a move for a change? I did look at this in the last question that you guys, the last video that I did. I don't see Scott Morrison winning. I see the other guy winning. I don't know if that's good or bad for you. I don't know which one you're wanting. I really kind of think the other guy is going to be better in the sense that he's conservative. Okay, that's good or bad, but he seems to be focused downward. Like I see him looking at imports and exports and business and getting more money or being better at negotiating those trade deals. I don't think he's good for social issues. I don't think he has any clue about social issues. And I think if he had a clue, you wouldn't want him to make a decision. But those are your choices, and that's what I'm seeing happen. I could be wrong. I know it's very close, but I don't see Morrison winning. I do see a change. I did talk about this in one of the other videos. I do see a change. I do see Australians standing up and getting in the streets and demanding these social changes. I see they want social changes. They want better, some sort of care, health care, wages, time off, more accountability. They want more accountability from their leaders. They want their leaders to be more in touch with what's happening to the people. Also, there's an there's a lot of environmentalists wanting to complain or protest. So I do see some changes happen in Australia. It's just like anything, 2 steps up, 1 step back, 2 steps up, 1 step back. It's not a perfection event, guys. It's not. It's messy. Democracy is messy. So as long as you know it's messy, and you know that it's just not going to always be win-win-win. Sometimes it's win, lose, lose. But count your wins double. Celebrate those wins. There are changes. The winds of change are hitting Australia. Very interesting. Thank you for your question. Bright Star Sunshine says, when will 45 finally face justice? Right. So the guides want to say, what is justice? They want to be all philosophical today. Like, what is justice? Like I don't got time for that, to be honest with you. But I agree with them. My justice, your justice might not be anybody else's justice. So I'll just say to you, this guy is never going to be president. I'll say it 1,000 times. I will literally, I believe this with every fiber of my being. Number one. Number two, he is mentally on the decline. I do not see him. I see him pleading. When he finally has to face justice, he will do the usual thing politicians say, oh, I'm in rehab. I'm in rehab. I can't face justice. But he will also say that he's having cognitive challenges. Cognitive challenges also means dementia, Alzheimer's, something along those lines. I've always seen him in a sort of a weird place that's all white. White walls, white furniture, and he's wearing some kind of scrubs or some kind of, maybe like a prison uniform, but not really, kind of, I don't know, pajamas. Let's call them pajamas. And he thinks he's still the president of the United States. He walks around this place, which looks like house arrest or a suite of a hotel, but it's not really, because it's all white. It's not like a hotel. It's like a suite of rooms of house arrest where it's a little bit institutional. And he walks around and they just tell him he's president. They just tell him whatever he wants to hear, and he's fairly gone from, he doesn't have connection to reality. He's going to gradually slip out of the news. He's going to gradually slip out of our awareness. And that's the dementia taking over. And I was asking when this was going to happen. I don't know. It could be next year that this happens. I mean, the goal is to get him out of the public eye so that no one knows what's really going on with him, right? That's the goal. Sue Perkins, thank you for your question too. Sue Perkins, thank you for your question. Representative Madison Cawthorn made the statement that Zelensky is a thug. And why would Representative Cawthorn make such an inflammatory and, might I add, stupid statement? Well, I would say because it's the same thing that I talked about a few minutes ago. Connect the dots. It seems that all of these Republicans have some sort of foaming at the mouth of saying the worst possible stupid thing they can say, and or do the worst possible stupid thing they could do. So to me, it just seems like they've all taken stupid truth serum. So they're all just blabbing about things. I mean, DeSantis taking on Disney? I mean, did that man lose his mind? You know what I mean? Talk about overreach of your confidence, right? So it's the same thing. Madison Cawthorn, they're showing me he's living in such, and I want to cover my ears, like I'm not going to listen to anybody but these people. and I'm only going to see these people. So he surrounded himself a lot like Putin with yes people and with people that are telling him a narrative that he believes. And in that narrative, NATO is bad, Zelensky is bad, Biden is bad, so in that world that he lives in, all those things are true for him. But he's going to wake up and see that world is very small. And he's going to rue the day, okay? So Madison Cawthorn is not long as a representative. This was an error. This was an error, and so it will be corrected. He will not be long as a representative. He's going to also be facing some charges about something. But again, you guys, when we start charging these people, they're going to go to their base, and their base is going to go crazy. I mean, we have to expect this. We have to be prepared for this. So let's see. Daisy D, I think I'm going to end this pretty quickly. I have a lot more questions, but this is an hour and a half long, and my God. So I think I'm just going to have to cut it off a little early. So let me see. Buffy222, actually, I'm going to answer your question. She asked, will Raphael Warnock win re-election? Yes, he will win re-election. Raphael Warnock, when he was running for that special election seat, the guides told me that this guy is going to be big. He's going to serve for a very long time. He's going to be revered, well-liked, well-known, well-respected. Well-respected. So he's got a long career ahead of him. I mean, that's like 95%, 98%. I can't imagine it not happening. Thank you for your question. So back to Daisy D. She asked an international question. She asked about the politics of the international world, I guess. Too many parties, no agreement in anything. Unemployment is sky high. Everyday illegal immigration coming from the sea. It's a mess here. I'm sure from there it's sad seeing other countries struggling. Daisy, Americans are not known for their, they're not known for their looking outside of their own borders. But yes, dear, it's a horrible where you are. I will say that. But I will say that you're in the darkest hour before the sun shines. And I will say that Ukraine is going to also fix some of these problems in the sense that, in the sense that Europe saw what happened to Ukraine when they didn't intercede. And now Europe, has 100,000 Ukrainian refugees, right? And Europe is going to have to, and America too, to be honest with you, we're these countries that are modern or civilized or whatever you want to call it, I don't know, democratic, let's just say, we are going to have to work harder to help these other countries that are under despot rule or authoritarian rule and are treating their people so bad that their people are fleeing to other more prosperous countries, okay? You might call that meddling, but the truth of the matter is that something is going to have to be done. But anyway, I don't see that changing anytime soon, Daisy D. You guys are, it's going to keep happening for the foreseeable future. In some areas, it's going to get worse. I answered, I don't know how I did. I don't remember how I did this, but I talked to somebody from France, and I see it getting worse in France. And they had a really good idea of how to sort of crowdsource getting supplies into the city from the countryside and paying less money for it. I wish I could say it's going to get easier, but it's not. It's not. It's part of the process. And I think I'm going to leave this with Glorious E has what's a message that Jesus Christ has for humanity. And it's not hard to understand what the message would be, right? I mean, come on. It's love. Love thy neighbor. Is that a commandment? Love thy neighbor. Be compassion. Have compassion. Be the light. Seek the light. Be the light. Seek the light. Be the light. So instead of like looking at all the problems and all the pain, spend some time looking at the light. Spend some time looking towards the light. Bring that light into your body. Fill your body up. Fill your energy up to the top with God's love, whoever you associate with. Bring that love into your body so that when you send your prayers and light out to others, it's bigger. It's more powerful. When your cup is full and you send love and light out to your family, friends, or anyone in the world, it's more powerful. Your energy pack is filled up. Therefore, it's charged up, and boom, what you send out is bigger. Okay, I'm going to end that now. My God, I cannot believe this went on so long. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've waited to the end of this thing, you get 5 gold stars. And you also get a special compensance, what is that word they're saying? Compensance, like compensation. To eat all the sweets you want for the next 3 hours. Go. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate you checking me out. Thank you for watching. Love and light to you. Take really good care. I will do the spiritual questions in a different video, and we'll see you again right here on my channel. For entertainment purposes only.